I want you guys to go ahead and take out your zucchini, your tomatoes. I have two different kinds. I have grape tomatoes, and then I have some of my leftover cherry tomatoes. I say grape tomatoes taste more, they're like sweet, but they have more of like a tart type of taste, and then the cherry tomatoes, they're more sweet. And then I also have my microgreens that I'm going to use. And I also have some basil, fresh basil. You should have your oregano or your Italian seasoning. If you have parsley, that's good. You need your red pepper and your red onion. And then I have some sun-dried tomatoes that I'm going to toss in mine. It's completely up to you guys if you want to use sun-dried tomatoes or not. And if you want, you can actually you can use eggplant in this as well. I know that some of you bought eggplant, so you could use that also. But this is going to be a really quick and easy recipe because we're basically just throwing everything in the blender for the sauce. Oh, and your soaked walnuts or sunflower seeds. If they're not soaked, that's fine. Just make sure you rinse them. So I have my...
What was the greens you say? What kind of greens you had? Not the zucchini, not the... Which one did you take out?
You said what?
What greens did you take out?
The only greens that I took out were the microgreens and the fresh basil, parsley, and then your seasonings would be pink Himalayan sea salt, smoked paprika, avocado or grapeseed oil. But whatever green, and I have zucchini. So if you are wanting like a side salad, go ahead and take out your kale because I think I'm going to make a quick kale salad also. And then you can put watercress in there as well. You can put watercress right on top of your zucchini salad for garnish. So right now I'm just going to rinse everything off. And I have my soaked walnuts. I'm using walnuts. You can use sunflower seeds also. So this will be like a raw Bolognese sauce. But yeah, let me go ahead and throw this stuff away. I'm going to wash my zucchini. If you have a potato peeler, you can do ribbons with the zucchini. I have this little spiralizer that I'm going to be using for mine. So let me know once you guys have all your ingredients out, and then we'll go over them again just to confirm that you have everything. Use my daughter's scissors to cut this open.
So you have super green. I have a whole bunch of greens I'm taking out. Super greens.
You said that you have what?
Do use super greens, but I have like a whole bunch of. Which one should I be using? Like, what are you gonna do?
Any greens. You can use all of them if you want for your salad. For me, I'm using microgreens, as well as kale for mine. And if I had watercress, I would use it. But when I went to the farmer's market, the watercress wasn't looking good, so I just didn't get it. But watercress is really good to put in your salad or to just put as garnish on top of your zucchini pasta. Alfalfa sprouts are fine too. All right.
Turned like this color.
Rinse it off in cool water.
It smells.
Sometimes greens just smell even if you buy them fresh. So rinse them off. They look fine. So I say rinse them off and then let them sit in some cold water and then see how it smells after that. But unless they're like slimy, then they're good. Sometimes greens just smell when you keep them in the plastic. So whenever you're buying greens, try to take them out of the plastic and put them in like a glass container with a paper towel at the bottom of it to absorb that moisture. But if it's slimy, then it's bad. But if it's not, then you're good. And I'm going to go ahead and wash my spiralizer off. I'm gonna move my blender and let me get a big bowl. Why do I not know where any of my stuff is? I'm gonna go ahead and wash off my stuff too. This should be good. Alright.
You said with the zucchini, we just using our potato peeler to make like long strips?
Yeah, so if you don't have like a spiralizer or the zucchini that's already spiraled, then go ahead and use the potato peeler and make it into ribbons or strips. And make sure that they're thin too. All right. Actually, I don't think I'm going to use both of these since I'm the only one eating it, but we'll see. And this little spiralizer that I have for the zucchini, this was only $9 at Publix.
I'm happy with this one.
Actually, I think I am going to do both of these and then just eat on this tomorrow. So what I like to do that I didn't do right now, if you put like actually I might do that, hold on. Let me take this middle part out with all of my core. Save your scraps too. You can use it for chicken broth. You can use it for vegetable broth. Oh yeah. So what I like to do is just put a little paper towel on the bottom of my bowl so that way it can absorb some of the moisture from the zucchini. There we go. And I'm going to finish doing this. Toss it in there. And if you have yellow squash, that's fine too. Yellow squash seems to not hold as much liquid as zucchini. So if you want to use that for your pasta, that's cool too. So you can use a blender or a food processor for this recipe. I'm going to use the blender just because it's easier to clean. And usually that's what everybody has. If you have one of these spiralizers, the little middle part that's coming through, I'm just going to toss that because we don't want to waste it. Not toss it in the trash, but toss it into, I'm going to toss it into my blender. Ooh, that was loud. All right. I don't think I'm going to get any more out of this, but I'm actually going to save this because we're not going to waste. And then I'm actually going to make all of this.
Definitely think I'm going to invest in the potato pillow.
Screen keeps timing out.
Next time, this is a mess.
Let me see what you guys are doing. If you could put it on camera.
I'm still making my really good.
Okay, that looks good.
See?
And just whenever you are using your potato peeler for your ribbons, do the outside first, like the skin part, and then work your way inside. Try not to get the part with the seeds. The part with the seeds, like the very middle part, that's where it's the most moisture. Go ahead and toss that like in your blender that you're going to be using for your sauce.
Oh, okay, cool, because I was being down there steady going.
That's why I became a mess.
Yeah, that's fine. That looks good.
Well, so stop on this.
So I'm going to put all of my seeds in here for my little middle part. This is a lot. I think this is good. So put this in the sink. All right, so you should have something like this if you have a spiralizer, or if you have your peeler, then yours look good, Camilla. Let me see what you guys have. And I'm just using this to get the moisture out.
Mine look a mess.
Let me see.
Hold on, let me.
That's not bad. That's good. That's good. All right. So I just have my paper towel here, and I got all of the moisture out of my zucchini pasta. I'm just gonna put this on top. I don't want to smash it, so I can keep its shape. All right. Don't be afraid to use your hands, y'all. Yeah, if it's wet, just lay it on top of a paper towel while we're making the sauce.
No, I said it don't feel wet. I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right, so let me put this to the side. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the sauce. Let me know when you have your blenders out. First thing that we're gonna do, I'm just gonna sit this to the side. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna prep. So go ahead and cut up your bell pepper. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just make sure you're cutting it, and then whatever scraps you have, keep it, and you can use that to make a veggie broth. But I'm just cutting the whole thing around the seed, and then whatever's left, we're gonna just put that to the side. Let me get my little bag that I use with my scraps. So I have like a little bag that I use for all of my scraps. So whatever's left, just sit it to the side, and then you guys can use these for a veggie broth. So with my peppers, I'm going to toss them into my blender. One whole red bell pepper, or if you have green, yellow, orange, it'll all work. And then I'm going to wash off my tomatoes, toss those in here as well. And then I also have red onion. I have a shallot that's just here, so I'm gonna use that. And then I have some garlic. So for measurements, right now I have 1 whole bell pepper, and then I'm going to use a whole pint of grape tomatoes, and then I have some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm just gonna put like maybe 2 tablespoons in here, and then I have some leftover cherry tomatoes that I'm gonna use as well. But I don't want to use them all because these are actually really good raw, so I'm only gonna throw about 5 of them in there, and then use the rest for like a snack or some garnish. Let me wash this. All right, and if you like yours spicy, you can put some extra razzle dazzle in it, some red pepper flakes, stuff like that. Whatever tomatoes you have, you can use. I like to use a variety to just switch up the flavor. Whoops. All right, so I'm putting all of my tomatoes in here. Put this to the side to recycle.
I mean, here, hold on, Fifi, real quick.
Okay.
I don't say like pint size.
That's a pint. Yeah, that's a pint. So use the whole thing.
Looks my bigger. I have a ninja only.
Once you blend it and it goes down a little bit, then you can add more. I just have a bigger blender, so I'm doing it all at once. So I love garlic, so I'm going to use I'm going to start off with 4 cloves, taste it, see if I like it, and then add on to it. So the good thing about this recipe is you can taste it as you go. As you know, sometimes when you use certain herbs, some of them are more powerful than if you buy it. Like this one is fresh because it's still in the soil. So it might have a different taste, or if you're using dried herbs, and it might have a different taste. It all depends. But I'm going to put some sun-dried tomatoes in here. And this is just some sun-dried tomatoes that I made. If you cut your grape tomatoes or your cherry tomatoes in half, take the seeds and stuff out, put it on parchment paper, put it in the oven on like the lowest heat setting for, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 minutes. And then when they come out, they'll be dry. Toss them in some oil and seasoning. You have your own sun-dried tomatoes that you can make. So I'm just gonna put like, I don't know, that's maybe a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of sun-dried tomatoes, completely optional. I just like variety. And then I'm going to put, this is a very large red onion that I have. I'm gonna start off with, let me make sure this doesn't time out. I guess if this were a regular size onion, it would be like half an onion. So I'm going to start off with just half an onion. And same thing applies to onions. Sometimes they be extra ripe and spicy, and then other times they're just mild. But we shall see. So I'm going to toss, actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to do just this much onion. You guys can see. Just because I'm unsure, this onion smells like it's super ripe and it's going to be spicy. And then I'm going to add my shallot. I'm going to do like half of this shallot. Hold up. Damn. Oh, I'm all over the place. Ugh.
Yeah, we can set.
All right, 1 second. I'm going to use half of a shallot. And here. Right. And then what I think I'm going to do, because I love red onion, I think I'm going to thinly slice this and add it in there with the zucchini. Just for some extra texture.
I love onion, garlic. I love it all.
I love some onion.
It makes you thirsty.
I'm not having any company tonight, so I think I'll be fine. All right.
Look, I think whether you had company or not, it wouldn't matter.
Alrighty. All right, so then next what I'm going to do is add a little bit of avocado oil, maybe like a tablespoon. And then I have some pink Himalayan sea salt, some cracked black pepper, generous amount of salt and pepper and seasonings. If you have Italian seasoning, feel free to put that in there now. I'm going to throw some fresh basil into mine. Maybe, I don't know.
Now I have an Italian dressing seasoning pack. It's just the seasoning itself that I can make like a dressing with. Is that all right, or you just rather be like?
Do you have oregano? Or what fresh herbs do you have?
That's some dried oregano.
Yeah, you can use dried herbs. That's fine. So if you have some dried oregano, use that. For me, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 basil leaves that I'm throwing in there. And I'm also going to put some, you can put fresh parsley in it. I'm going to put some cilantro in mine also. So I have some cilantro microgreens. I'm going to put that in mine, just a handful of it, because I love cilantro.
You put the grape oil in there already?
You said what?
Put the grapeseed oil in there already?
Yep.
How much you put in there?
I put about a tablespoon in there. Let me see you pour it, and then I'll tell you when to stop.
Gotta measure it.
Okay. Start off with like 2 teaspoons.
I'm gonna pour right now.
Okay, go ahead. That's good. All right.
Yeah, I gotta.
All right, so let's go ahead and start to blend up our sauce. Once it goes down, we're gonna add some more stuff to it. So I'm gonna push chop. Whoops. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you have any plant-based milk, pour a little bit in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my Elmhurst walnut milk, since I'm gonna be using walnuts for like my meat. But only put a little bit in there because we just want to blend this down a little bit. So maybe like half a cup. All right. Yo, my blender don't like me. Let me put some of this down.
What else?
Pardon?
I said, what else seasonings was we put in again?
So far, I just used basil, cilantro, pink Himalayan sea salt, and cracked black pepper. That's all that I have for now. I didn't add anything extra, and I actually forgot my garlic, so I'm going to toss that in there right now. I kind of miss my Ninja because I could just turn it upside down and everything would blend fine. But I wanted something with glass. I'm trying to eliminate as much plastic as possible.
This is what mine. I need to.
Did you add the rest of the tomatoes to it?
That's what I need to add. Yep.
Yeah. So all of your, and whenever you blend it, you don't want to blend it to where it's like a smoothie. You want to still have texture. So when you put those tomatoes in and you blend it, just kind of chop it up because you want it to still be kind of chunky. Did you put garlic in yours also, Camilla?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so I have 3 large cloves of garlic. I'm gonna put more in here in a minute. All right, let me get my spoon so I can push this stuff down. There we go. Y'all see this blender does not like me. I think I put the wrong stuff in first. All right, there we go. This should work. I think it's because I put those peppers in first. Ooh, this smells good already. I think I'm gonna pulse. There we go. All right. Oh my God, this smells really good. So it will have like an orange type of hue to it. That is normal, or pinkish. And you want to make sure that there's still texture to it. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Because we're going to keep blending this up some more. We're going to add other stuff. So go ahead and give it a taste. This is only mine. So yes, I'm going to lick off of this bone. Oh, this is good. So give it a taste and then you can kind of determine what else is needed. For me, I'm gonna throw some more, I'm gonna throw the rest of these sun-dried tomatoes in here.
Add more. I'm trying to find my bigger ones and I cannot.
All right. So I'm adding some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to add some, Trader Joe's has this seasoning. It's called Italian style Sofrito. And it has crispy onion, sun-dried tomatoes, sea salt, garlic, red peppers, parsley, rosemary, and sage. I'm going to throw this in mine. And I'll just use the rest of what's in here because it's only a little bit left. And I'm going to get some nutritional yeast. Do you guys have nutritional yeast?
Let me see what I got. I got some.
If you don't have nutritional yeast, that's fine. I just have some, so I'm going to toss a little bit in mine. And if you have this, then just put a little bit. Do like maybe a teaspoon or 2 inside of it. And let's see. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my walnuts, my soaked walnuts. I'm adding that to this. and just a little bit more salt. And another good addition to this would be some, oh, this smells so good, would be, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, y'all. I'm like so hungry. This is my first meal of the day. I cooked for my mom and my daughter, but I didn't eat any of that. Okay, this is perfect. So with this sauce, and it looks like I have some left over too. Let me know when you're done with your sauce, and then we'll put everything together. So all I did was add some red onion to my zucchini, and I'm just gonna mix this up. Whoops. And I'm also going to get some fresh basil, and I'm gonna cut it into ribbons and put this on top of the noodles also. How is y'all's sauce tasting so far? Have you tasted it?
It's good.
All right. And I'm just adding some fresh basil.
Oh my God.
You add basil to the mixture, blend.
All right. Let me know when you guys are ready. After you've added that. Alright, let me get a mason jar because I'm going to have some extra. And I'm going to go ahead and get one of my cherry tomatoes. I'm going to use this for garnish. If you have avocado, you can sit that right on top as well. All right, where are you guys at with let me put this up.
I can't put nothing else in there.
Okay. Let me see your sauce, Camilla. If you need to pour some out, if you want to add something to it, pour some out, put it in a jar, and then add the rest and then mix it later, you can. But let me see it.
Hold on, hold on, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Okay, that looks good. How does it taste?
It tastes good, actually.
All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add our sauce on top. Add as much as you like. Oh, did you add your walnuts?
I did. That was the part where it was overflowing. I had to pour some out and try to chop it down.
Okay. So I'm just going to add my sauce right on top. Add my soaked walnuts in here. I have my sun-dried tomatoes, my grape tomatoes, my cherry tomatoes. Just gonna add a little bit more because I like mine extra saucy. And the extra sauce that I have, I'm just gonna put it in a mason jar and use it for another raw recipe. And this is actually going to taste better. This sauce will taste better tomorrow after all of those flavors marry together. But yeah, use whatever seasonings, whatever sauces you want in this. You can use whatever tomatoes. If you want it spicy, add some red pepper flakes, which is actually what I'm going to do right on the top. So I actually made some carrot tuna earlier this week, so now I have some raw sauce. Might use that for a pizza.
Let me see yours real quick.
1 second.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm just gonna sprinkle some red pepper flakes on top. Not too much. All right. So this is what mine looks like so far.
Ooh, that looks pretty.
All right, and then you can make it pretty and put some garnish on it. I'm gonna add some microgreens. I'm gonna add one of my little cherry tomatoes. I need to wash my microgreens though. And I have turmeric on my fingers, but that's okay. If you have watercress, add your watercress on top.
This was so simple.
So this is like one of them simple, quick, easy meals. It's raw. It's full of nutrients. All right. So I have that. And all you need is a blender. You didn't even have to use any pots or pans or anything, y'all. Let me put this up. If you want to put avocado on this, you can as well. I'm just going to put some more basil just for garnish on top. It's right here. All right, here is the finished meal.
That's pretty. I already done mixed mine up.
Did you try to eat it yet? So this is it.
No, it's pretty. It's so pretty.
For everybody else that's unable to attend, this is your pasta. And mine actually still has some liquid, so I'm gonna just get a paper towel and soak some of that up. Let's see if we can get this. So if you were spiralizing your zucchini in advance, just make sure that you lay it down on a paper towel or a little washcloth to absorb some of that moisture, so that way you're not trying to get it out like I am right now. Some of this is actually from the sauce, but I do want to take a picture of this for the gram. All right, you guys taste it. Let me know what you think. And you can even sprinkle some more nutritional yeast on top if you want. What do you guys think?
It's good. I just added a little bit more salt on mine. But it's good. I wish I put more red.
Yeah, so I add a ton of pink, well, not a ton. I add a good amount of pink Himalayan sea salt to mine. If you want to take this up a notch, if you have some balsamic vinegar, you can just sprinkle that on top. Put some nutritional yeast, some red pepper flakes, however you guys like it, feel free. That balsamic vinegar sprinkled on top, it is a game changer. It's really good.
And that's what I'm looking for.
But other than that, go ahead.
You said how much vinegar? I'm sorry, go ahead.
What were you saying?
You say balsamic vinegar or like this?
Balsamic vinegar.
Done.
Yeah, so if you put a little bit of that balsamic vinegar on top, just a little bit, not too much, then it'll add more flavor to it. That should be good. Because just a little bit goes a long way, so mix it up. It's good? Yeah.
It was long. It was not lying.
Yes, that balsamic vinegar takes it up a notch. But as far as the soup goes, I am going to send out the information for that on tomorrow. Just because you do need, I should have told you guys yesterday, but you do need to soak your lentils and your split peas overnight just to get rid of all of the excess gases that are in it, because you know how them beans and legumes will
I was going to ask you about that because I kept soaking and rinsing and rinsing. I'm like, why is it still looking like it's got soap?
Yeah, so if it's bubbling up, that's the natural gases from it. So if you ever get gassy after you eat beans or lentils, that's because you didn't soak them long enough. So soak them overnight, make sure you keep rinsing them. And then whenever you cook them tomorrow to make your soup, for one, they'll cook faster. But two, any foam or anything you see at the top of it, just scrape it off, throw it in the, sink, and then that'll help eliminate some of that gas.
I never knew that.
Yes, always soak your nuts and always soak your beans, your lentils, everything.
It is good. I'm not really big on beans anyway, but
Me neither. Them things be tearing my stomach up.
when I grew up having to eat them, we had a miniature farm,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad's theory was if he could plant it and grow it for us to eat, we had to eat it.
Yeah, I feel them though.
I was like, Daddy, I'm sick of pintos, black eyes, and you can't pay me to eat no llamas. I'm sorry.
I love some black eye. I love black eyed peas. I love like pinto beans and rice. Oh my god! But I just can't eat it. Like I won't do that to myself. But yes, we'll be doing another recipe later on this week. I will be sending you guys a juicing video just for y'all with the recipes that I sent you. Other than that, I will go ahead and post this one that's on my other computer on YouTube. And then I'll send it out to everybody in case you guys want to refer back to this and make it again. But yes, I am glad that you guys are enjoying it. I know this is a late dinner, but if you have any questions, just hit me up inside of the chat. And then all of the greens that you have, feel free to make a salad. I have some kale that I'm going to make a kale salad. And then I made this dressing earlier. It's a almond butter tahini dressing. So if you guys want to make this, it's just almond butter, tahini, coconut aminos, apple cider vinegar, and sunflower butter with lime juice. And then I mix it up, and then you can add like just a little bit of plant-based milk to thin it out, and it's really good. I'll type that up and I'll put it in the chat.
So with the kale, you put it in a thing, or you want me to make a salad with it?
So with the kale, I make a salad with it. Make sure you massage it like really, really good with just like put oil on your hands and then massage the kale. So that way it's like light and fluffy and not tough when you eat it. And then you can just like make a dressing. You can put like onions, tomatoes, and stuff on it.
Okay.
It's really good with like cranberries and walnuts. A kale salad with cranberries and walnut is really good. This incense is strong. But if you guys need me, I will see you in the chat. I'm about to eat myself and then clean up, and I will connect with y'all tomorrow.
All right.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome, bye.